Ben Underwood is blind. Both eyes were removed when he was 3, leaving him with no vision at all. So on earth, Ben this. And this. And even this.
I don't think I've ever come across somebody like Ben. You know, he was quite unique.
Ben lost his eyes to cancer, but unbelievably, he's taught himself to see with sound.
If he chooses to go out there and ride that bicycle, let him ride the bicycle.
It's got to be very smart. Somewhere in there, it's a little genius going on.
I don't consider myself blind. Ain't nothing wrong with me.
Ben Underwood and his family live in Sacramento, the state capital of California. It's an old city with roots in the Wild West, but Ben and his family live in the new outlying suburbs. Ben uses many common aids for the blind, like speaking software for the computer, so he can jot down his rap lyrics. He's also written a book and does schoolwork on a high-tech braille writer. But what's unusual, what's truly unique, is what he doesn't use. Ben has no guide dog and never uses a white cane. He's not even using his hands. Instead, he sees with sound. He makes a sharp click which bounces back off nearby objects. Amazingly, Ben's ears pick up the echoes and he can precisely locate where things are. Ben is the only person in the world who sees using nothing but echolocation.
Well, I've been able to tell where walls are and where things on the ground are. If I click down, then I can hear them easier. But if I'm walking, I'm just clicking over it, it's not going to get it. And I can tell where desks are in the classroom and stuff like that. I can hear the wall over there, the couch over there. I can hear the wall behind me. I can hear the wall over there and the TV and the computer. Yep.
Ben, I need a towel for drying because I don't have all my kitchen towels in here. All right, Mom, I'm going to go get it.
Ben's echolocation is so good that at home his mum, Aquanetta, Uncle Kerry, and brother Isaiah make no allowances for his blindness at all.
When I was a little kid, I didn't really know he was blind. I just knew he was my brother.
Did he make it? He's determined to do what he's going to do. And he refuses for somebody to label him as blind. You see this kid that has a whole different way of thinking. It's magic and it's real.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone quite as remarkable as Ben, nor have I seen anyone quite as remarkable as Ben's mom. And I think that's a lot of the secret to Ben's amazing talents.
He knows that there's nothing impossible for him, you know, and it's not. Whatever he wants to do, you know, I tell him he can see.
Aquanetta has refused to allow the loss of Ben's eyes to overshadow their lives. Ben was born perfectly healthy with dark eyes like his mum. But when he was 2, she looked into his eyes and saw something was terribly wrong.
In his pupil, it looked like a marble, or, you know, when you shine a light at night on a cat's eye, and you know how that looks like a marble or like a light or fluorescent. And that's what it looked like. And within 3 days, it turned white.
In Ben's eye was a rapidly growing malignant tumor, retinoblastoma. It's a rare infant eye cancer that affects only 6 children per million.
If left to its own devices, it would be lethal. It would kill him. The disease would spread locally and he would never be able to survive.
If Ben wasn't treated, it would quickly spread along the optic nerve and into his brain.
If it's not caught very early, often the treatment is to have to actually remove the eye in order to save the body from having it spread. And Ben, of course, had very aggressive treatment.
Aquanetta had to make a critical, heart-rending decision.
I had a choice. I either could remove his eyes or try to keep on with more chemo and radiation to keep the vision. But the thing about it is that if you continue to try, and when if the cancer got down the optic nerve, they wouldn't live. So you have to make a choice. And my choice was, you know, to remove his eyes.
From the first dark moments, Aquanetta was determined that little Ben wouldn't think of himself as blind.
When he woke up from the surgery, and he said, "Mom, I can't see anymore, I can't see anymore." And I told him, I said, "Baby, yes, you can see." I said, "You can see with your hands." And I put his little hands on my face. I said, "See me?" And I said, "You can see me with your nose." And I put my hand to his nose, and I said, "You smell me?" I said, "You can see me with your ears." I said, "You hear me?" I said, "Baby, you can't use your eyes anymore, but you still have your hands and your nose and your ears." I said, "Baby, you can still see."
Aquanetta was stunned when just a year after the operation to remove his eyes, her little boy began to see again, with sound. Ben Underwood is on his 4th set of prosthetic eyes. His mum, Aquanetta, still treasures the ones he had as a little boy. Since he lost his own eyes to retinal cancer, Ben's had several pairs, each increasing in size. They ensure his eye sockets grow normally.
Okay, here they are. Here's one set. Oh, these might be the first set. His first eyes. These are my favorite. And then they were the first, and they look so real and so natural. It's very important to me that he looks as normal as he possibly can look, because I want him to be as normal as he possibly can be.
Ben's eyes look natural, but they'll never help him see. Just 1 year after the operation to remove his eyes, Ben astonished his mum when he performed what seemed like a miracle.
He was in the back seat in his car seat, and we're driving down the street. He said, "Mom, you see that big building out there?" And I said, "I see the big building out there. Do you see that big building out there?" You know, it just kind of tripped me out. I'm like, you know, I can see this. I know this boy can't see.
We see an object, like a building, because light is reflected from the surface into our eyes. Sound behaves in a similar way. Little Ben's ears were picking up the noise of city traffic, bouncing back from the big building that he was passing. Driven along in the car, Ben heard that the side streets sounded different from the buildings. He found he could form a picture of them with sound. Seeing with sound transformed Ben's life. His mum let him play in the street because his sound pictures seemed to make him more aware of danger than his sighted friends.
So I would watch and see what he did, and I noticed that, you know, cars would pass by, and as soon as that car would hit the curve, he'd move out of the way. I thought, wow, you know what, he hears those cars, you know, for blocks away. So he knows before the other kids know to move, because I just recognized that, you know, he was paying more attention.
Ben's super sense amazed everyone, but this was just the beginning. When he was 7, Ben discovered a new power. He began to click.
For a couple of years, it was just a habit. And then next thing you know, it was making things more distinguished for me. I was able to navigate easier and know what things are.
Ben learned to bounce his clicks off objects around him, giving him an even clearer picture of his surroundings.
When he was very young, I used to always tell him, "Ben, make your sound. Even when you're running and playing, don't forget to make your sound." That's his survival technique.
Over the years, Ben has developed his clicking into such a fine art that he can skate freely. He has the confidence and fluidity of movement through space other blind people can only dream of. Ben can see this gap in the parked cars, turn into it, and go through without touching the sides, then smoothly turn again along the pavement. He is entirely self-taught.
Looking at these skills that he's developed with his own mind, I mean, that's got to be really amazing. Somewhere in there, it's a little genius going on.
Ben's super sense has extended his horizons. Clicking has set him free to live life to the full. There's nothing his friends do that Ben won't attempt and conquer.
Oh yeah, that's a shame. Get beat by a blind man in a video game.
Everyone who meets Ben just can't believe their
I'm
eyes.
gonna guess what you had for lunch, okay?
Dr. James Rubin, Ben's eye doctor, has treated many blind children, but Ben was way outside even his experience.
One day I came into the exam room and there was a boy feverishly playing his Game Boy.
He looking at me like, tripping out, like, is he really playing this?
I looked at him and I looked at the chart and I said, this can't be the same boy that had lost both his eyes when he was a child. It just can't be possible.
And I said, oh, yeah, he's blind. He said, well, how is he playing the video game?
From that point on, I was just flabbergasted.
Ah!
Pie.
Pie.
He. Smooth.
Smooth.
Book.
Book.
Ben is having a hearing test. Does he have the hearing of a dolphin or bat? Picking up frequencies above or below the normal human threshold.
Normal hearing is from 25 decibel and above. And as you can see, Ben has normal hearing in both his right and his left ear.
Ben's ears are not super sensitive. So how does he get so much information from them? Can Ben have trained his brain to translate the sound he hears into visual information? South of Sacramento, between the mountains and the Pacific Ocean, is the University of California, Santa Barbara. Scientists here want to study how Ben sees and navigates with such a faint signal.
Nicholas. This is Ben.
Nice to meet you.
Psychologist Dr. Nicholas Giudici has been blind from birth. And geographer Dr. Jim Marston is partially sighted. Professor of psychology Jack Loomis is the odd man out. He can see. Their research combines psychology and geography to help develop practical mobility aids for the visually impaired. They've invited many blind people to help them over the years, but never anyone who echolocates like Ben.
One that really impressed me was when he walked along that curved path. He wasn't always right in the center, but he did extraordinarily well.
And we didn't even tell him to try to stay in the center. We just told him to walk. We didn't...
You know that it was a curve.
Right.
You did exactly perfectly.
Dr. Giudici wants to find out whether he can locate a tree by clicking.
Want me to find it? Do a click. Is that too high? Go and try to find another one. Right click, man?
No.
My clicking is definitely the click of an amateur. I haven't ever done echolocation, so you can hear my clicks and Ben's clicks. They're really quite different. Ben's laughing. I mean, mine are kind of a much less of a full spectrum click.
The lab tests were tough, but real life is about to hit Ben with the biggest challenge yet. Moving house.
Okay, tilt it up, Tony. Tilt it up.
It's disorientating even for sighted people. Ben will have to remap his whole life.
It's more wide than long.
Aquanetta has uprooted the whole family for Ben.
I will leave all of this.
She plans a normal, independent life for her son. And at 14, the time to start learning is now.
One of the main reasons for moving is so that he can walk to school and to karate. So on both sides of us, he's got school and he's got karate, he's got the grocery store. He has access to everything that he basically needs when I'm at work or I'm not around, so he can, you know, have his independence.
We got the smallest backyard ever. Serious.
I definitely want him to go away to college. I want him to leave home like everybody else. I want him to be able to take care of himself like everyone else.
When I get older, I want to be an inventor, actor, writer, and a game designer.
There's no limit to Ben's ambition, but despite his amazing talent, he'll have to work hard on improving his mobility skills to realize his dreams.
It's not going to be a big deal for me to hang out and to do what I got to do and be on my own, you know, although I am blind. It ain't going to be no big deal at all. Where's my black shoes?
Where they at?
You said you put them in the car.
To a 14-year-old, everything is possible. But life as an independent blind adult may not be as easy as he thinks. Ben has a lot to learn.
What's up? Oh!
Much more than he realizes. 14-year-old Ben Underwood is blind. But he's developed an extraordinary way to see using the sound of his own clicks. His remarkable skill has given him an independence other blind kids can only dream of. And he has his family to thank for it.
If he chooses to go out there and ride that bicycle, then let him ride the bicycle. If he runs into the wall, okay, oh well, are you okay? Get your butt up and keep on moving.
Ben's mum also has complete faith in his amazing echolocation.
You know, we can handicap those kids by overprotecting because of our love or our fear that they may get hurt.
Today, Ben's family are moving house to give him even more independence. From his new home, he'll be able to walk to school by himself. But school hasn't always been a happy experience for Ben. 3 years ago, his mum was advised to send him to a residential school for the blind. She was told it would be good for Ben to mix with other blind kids for 1 year before high school. As soon as he arrived, he knew it was a big mistake.
For some reason, I thought that all parents were like me or did what I did, or, you know, and that all blind kids were like Ben.
I didn't like the blind school because it was like a school full of handicapped kids. I'm like, I don't belong here. Ain't nothing wrong with me.
He went to the school and realized or found out that they're not like him.
Many of the students, it turned out, had multiple disabilities. With so many vulnerable students around, staff were naturally protective. But Ben wanted to run around and play games, just as he did at home.
So he wanted, you know, take his ball to school so they can do some things, and they told him, no, Ben, you can't bring that here, somebody might get hurt.
It was so boring. I was literally trying to show them the outside life of playing games in the outside world, because they're basically just in a little box. You know? They've got full eye watch every second, every moment.
Some staff had concerns about Ben's reliance on echolocation alone and encouraged him to use a white cane.
Everybody else used a little stick. And so when they was walking, you know, they'd be like, and when every time I'd be walking, I'd just walk.
Ben felt the white cane represented everything he hated about being seen as blind. Now he's at the local high school, Ben likes to blend in as much as he can.
People don't really realize I'm blind when they first see me because, you know, I look normal and I act normal. I'm like a normal kid. But if they don't know I'm blind and then they find out, they begin to act like I need help all the time and stuff like that. Like, I don't really need it, but we tell them, like, get off me, dang. I don't need your help. Move.